Have you ever wondered why some UFC knockouts are remembered forever? It's not just because they ended a fight. It's because they changed careers, shocked fans, or sparked debates that still haven't ended. Today, we're breaking down some of the most iconic UFC knockouts by looking at the setup, the weapon that finished the fight, why it worked, and the controversy that followed. Carlos Prates spent most of the fight pressuring Neil Magny with calm footwork and powerful body attacks. Instead of rushing, he slowly backed Magny toward the fence, forcing him to react instead of creating his own offense. The weapon was a spinning elbow. A spinning elbow creates power by rotating the hips, shoulders, and torso before the point of the elbow crashes into the target. Since the elbow has a very small surface area, nearly all the force is delivered into one spot, making it one of the most dangerous strikes in MMA. As Magny tried to circle away from the pressure, Prates perfectly timed his spin and caught him clean before he could defend himself. Many fans called it the moment Carlos Prates became a real contender, while others argued Magny's decline made the knockout look more impressive than it actually was. Lyoto Machida and Randy Couture played a technical chess match for most of the fight. Couture kept searching for clinch opportunities while Machida patiently controlled the distance. The weapon was a front kick. Unlike a roundhouse kick, the front kick travels straight down the middle. Because it comes directly toward the opponent, it's difficult to spot until it's too late. When it lands on the chin, it can instantly shut the lights out. The moment Couture stepped forward with his hands slightly lowered, Machida fired the kick perfectly up the center and landed one of the cleanest knockouts in UFC history. Even today, fans still debate whether this is the greatest front kick knockout ever seen inside the octagon. Anderson Silva was already putting on another masterclass against Michael Bisping. He constantly changed angles, played with his timing, and made Bisping hesitate every time he attacked. The weapon was a flying knee. A flying knee combines forward momentum with explosive leg drive, allowing the knee to crash directly into the opponent's head. It's incredibly difficult to defend if your opponent isn't expecting it. As Bisping looked toward his corner after the horn, Silva instantly recognized the opening and launched the flying knee that dropped him. The controversy wasn't the knockout itself. The debate was whether Bisping was still intelligently defending himself and whether Silva should have been awarded the finish before the fight continued. Alexander Volkanovski accepted a title fight against Islam Makhachev on short notice after Charles Oliveira pulled out. Despite the circumstances, Volkanovski looked confident and continued moving forward. The weapon was a left head kick. Head kicks generate power through hip rotation and whip-like speed. Even if they're partially blocked, the impact can still shake the brain enough to end a fight. Islam disguised the kick behind his boxing, making Volkanovski expect another punch. Instead, the kick wrapped around the guard and landed flush before Volk could react. Some fans believe the short notice preparation played the biggest role in the finish, while others believe Islam would have won regardless. Max Holloway and Chan Sung Jung spent the fight exchanging combinations without taking many backward steps. Even late into the fight, both refused to slow down. The weapon was a straight right hand followed by relentless pressure. Straight punches travel the shortest distance to the target, making them extremely fast and accurate. When thrown with proper timing, they can end a fight before the opponent has time to recover. After stunning the Korean Zombie with a clean shot, Holloway immediately recognized the damage and poured on combinations until the referee stepped in. Many fans believed this was the perfect ending to the Korean Zombie's legendary career, while others wished the fight had been stopped a few seconds earlier. Conor McGregor entered the biggest fight of his career against Jose Aldo with complete confidence. Aldo had dominated the featherweight division for years and was considered nearly unbeatable. The weapon was a perfectly timed left cross. The left cross gains its power from the legs, hips, and shoulders rotating together before exploding straight through the target. Timing often matters more than raw strength. As Aldo rushed forward throwing a punch, Conor slipped slightly outside and landed the left hand directly on the chin, ending the fight in just 13 seconds. To this day, fans still argue whether Aldo became too emotional before the fight or whether Conor had solved him from the very beginning. Leon Edwards spent most of the fight behind on the scorecards against Kamaru Usman. With less than a minute remaining, it looked like another dominant title defense for the champion. The weapon was a left high kick. High kicks become especially dangerous when they're disguised behind punches. The opponent expects the hands and often reacts too late to the kick. Leon feinted with his left hand, causing Usman to lower his guard for a split second before the kick landed perfectly on the jaw. Some call it the greatest comeback knockout in UFC history, while others wonder whether Usman had simply become too comfortable. Holly Holm refused to play Ronda Rousey's game. Instead of grappling, she stayed disciplined, moved constantly, and forced Rousey to chase her around the cage. The weapon was a left head kick. After repeated boxing combinations, Rousey began expecting punches instead of kicks. Holm used that expectation against her. The moment Rousey stepped forward recklessly, Holm fired the kick around the guard and ended one of the most dominant championship reigns the UFC had ever seen. Many fans believe this was the biggest upset in UFC history. Ilia Topuria remained calm despite facing one of the greatest featherweights ever. Instead of rushing for the finish, he patiently looked for the perfect opening. The weapon was a powerful right hook. Hooks create knockout power by rotating the hips while transferring force through the shoulders into the fist. When they land on the jaw, they rapidly turn the head and dramatically increase knockout potential. As Volkanovski tried to exchange in close range, Topuria landed the hook clean before following with another shot to secure the finish. The debate immediately began. Was this simply Ilia's arrival as the division's new king, or had years of wars finally caught up to Volkanovski? Max Holloway and Justin Gaethje delivered one of the greatest fights fans have ever witnessed. With only seconds remaining, most fighters would have safely coasted to the final bell. The weapon was a perfectly timed right hand. Instead of protecting his lead, Holloway pointed to the center of the octagon and invited one final exchange. As Gaethje accepted, Max slipped the return punch and landed a devastating shot that ended the fight with just 1 second left. Many fans believe it's the greatest last-second knockout in UFC history, while others argue no fighter should ever risk a guaranteed victory like that. These knockouts weren't just spectacular finishes. They changed careers, created unforgettable moments, and gave fans debates that still continue today. Which knockout do you think belongs at the top of UFC history? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more UFC breakdowns. This is MMA. One cage. Endless styles, only the best survive.